I'm used to seeing you from here.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock and I am pleased to call to order the 2025 annual meeting of the Lake Kiowa Property Owners Association. Please stand as the pledge allegiance to the flag, and please remain standing after the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. Please remain standing. At this time, as we normally do, we would like to have a moment of silence to remember members and their families that we lost in 2024. Thank you. Please be seated. As a reminder, this is the annual meeting. It's called in the bylaw, section 6102A. This meeting is only to announce the results of the election that we had in February and review our accomplishments for the year of 2024 and the other in January and any other items of importance. We will now vote on very we'll now vote on the minutes from last year, 2024. The motion is made by Gerald. Is there a second? John Roach seconds. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Aye. All those against, raise your hand. The people with the hand, can't do that. Okay. The vote carries in the opinion of the chair. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is talk about the election. We got 825 votes, or 62.6% of the voting audience. So there, since this is probably much already, we will announce the winners of the election, and there is no particular order for the actually. Right, the first one is the bad names. Dan Bessie, stand down. Next one's Chris Ayla. Last but not least, Cecil D. The next item, the next item that we voted on was the revenue ruling, and this is one that we vote on every year. It's exactly the same. And so that one passed 729 for and 96 against. And basically what it says is that there's an excess of revenues in 2024, those we carried over and spent in 2025. Okay. The next one is the $400,000 donation and project cap that failed. It actually had a simple majority of 465 for and 374 against. But since it's an amendment to an existing bylaw, it takes 2/3 to pass. So that failed. The next one is the golf course reserve, and that is that did pass 535 for and 299 against, and that since it's a new bylaw, this takes a simple majority of votes voting. And now an announcement about 15 minutes or so after the adjournment of this meeting, we will have the meeting of the new board, an organizational meeting, and that's where the new officers will be elected. And so you are all welcome to attend if you would like to do so. It's another meeting. Okay. The next thing I'd like to do is introduce, and if you guys will stand as I call your name, the returning board members. Nancy Jackson, unfortunately, is not able to be here tonight. She is doing a camp for brief recovery for 7 to 12-year-olds and was unable to make it. So, Bria Ballard, our treasurer. John Taylor as assistant secretary, and he's camping with his sons. Fun times. The next one is Larry Wissack, our secretary. Dylan and Ron Phillips, director. The next one is the 3 directors that are going off this term. The first one is Denny McElroy. He currently serves as the assistant treasurer. In this term, he's been on the Roger Tavern Committee, and the Golf Committee, and the HR Committee, and the Part 3 Donations Committee. So he's been a visibility for this 3 years on the board. So his service we appreciate. The next one is Tom Sledge, and he's been on the Land Use Committee. He's been a president of the NGA, and in the spare time when he's not doing anything else, he's the CEO of the North Texas Medical Center. Well, he's another discipline, and then me and I basically think of sites. The next thing you want to do is acknowledge the committees that we have. You know, the board is charged with governing the committee under Article 7 of the bylaws. But quite frankly, without the input and knowledge of the people that serve on committees and funnel that knowledge up to us at the board, it would be practically impossible. So we have 19 active committees. There's 138 of our members that serve on those committees, and each one of those committees has staff support. So that's one of the ways that the feelings of the community is just set up to the board. We can know everything that's going on. So that's a good thing. So at this time, we're going to acknowledge the chairs of architectural control, Pete Mason, celebration Nancy Jackson, which is not here. Covenants and bylaws, Sean Taylor. Elections, Kathy Gray. Yeah, Kevin sick tonight. The golf committee, Dean McElroy. Human Resources, Gerald Smith. Information Systems, Kathy Gray. Land Use, 52 acres, Gerald Smith. Lake Management, it's Cecil Heath. Roger Tavern is Ronnie Phillips. Long Range Planning, again, is Nancy Jackson. Front Entrance, Jimmy Fox. Nominating, Larry Wissack. Parks and Recreation, Larry Wissack. Rules Enforcement, George Allen. Unless you got the best, bulletproof vest. Okay. Safety and Security, Dylan. Ways and Means, Stan Bessie. And 3 donations, Jeff Herron. Okay. The next group of folks, we just want to, we're not going to let anybody stand, but, there's on the website, the official clubs, and there's more than this, but there are 15 clubs, official clubs that are on the website that we track. And in those clubs, in those 15 clubs, there's over 2,300 that participate in those clubs and give us, like NGA has a golf course, the NGA does that. It's a wonderful thing, and you can tell just how involved this community is. So I would have everybody that's a member of a club stand up, but it will be everybody in the room. So we don't do that, but we appreciate all the help you guys give. Okay, the last group, and certainly not the least of all the groups, is our staff. We're led by Rich Augustiniak. He is completing his first year as community manager. And I've got to tell you, he has done a fabulous job. Really a good guy. Cares about this community, cares about his people. Since he's been involved with raises and new way of retaining people, so it's really running. So, Rich, thank you. Next is Crystal Hilton in administration, public works, Scott Manning back in security is non-indicated, good. The lodge is Jeremy Creech. He's done a fabulous job. Average ticket is 2024 and 2023. The number of tickets is up. Food quality is up. Love to have it released. You're working. The new board will be working on that. Golf marshals is Lauren Weaver, and the communicator is Jeremy Creech. And finally, just for you to know how many people we have 49 full-time, 34 part-time, 1 seasonal position. So this is not an insignificant group of people. And we owe them a lot. They work very hard to make this place as good as it is. The next guy we need to thank is James Tidwell. He's our attorney. He attends every meeting with the board and keeps us out of trouble. In a manner of speaking, charges us pretty good amount of money to do that. So anyway, but he's a good guy. He's a good source of information. He returns phone calls when you need something on the quick, and so he's good. So. And now okay, here are our financials as of 2024. Due to some financial sleight of hand, we missed the budget by 1.2%, 0.2%, excuse me. The total budget of 5.7 million, so that is really a lot of money. But still, you all have to get the budgets. I don't bore you with why, but if the first and second of January, so January is big under budget because of it. Our total cash balances as of the end of the year were $6.3 million. The ARF fund had $2.1 million in it. And just where you know the anticipated spending in ARF this year, 2025, is going to be slightly over $1 million. So the money doesn't go out of that, literally. It's bills and funds. The next one is the CARF fund. There's $1 million in it. And practically every penny of that is already committed for things like the bridge, the dam, the pickleball courts, the driving range, etc. So, and Lake Management's got $800,000 in it. We're going to spend roughly $150,000 this year, and that just sort of like your help, because we hear even on this last survey that we had, we heard that, well, why aren't you dredging? Don't you get this thing dredged? It needs to be dredged. Well, the issue is, and our consultant got us to rethink this, is that it's not going to do you a whole bunch of good to dredge and not fix the reason why you're getting silt in the lake. So that's what we're doing. We're fixing the edges of the lake, and we're putting riprap around it, like low water too. You can see that. CDRF has $171,000, and that's just a reserve fund that we put the funds if we sell something, like something that goes into that fund, and then it takes new capital assets to get it out of there. I think that's where we'll get a lot of the audit for 2023, which we get to see, and 2024 was clean. It was so that's looking fit. There's been no issues. So just to give you, numbers down. So anyway, the $6 million that we have on the deposit and various things, all either FDIC covered or government risk. We have no risk in any of our funds. The other thing that we made a couple of little tweaks to how we did our accounts, and in 2024, we now sweep all final balances and the investments that are covered by FDIC and First State Bank. And so all the $250,000 that are deposits are at market rates. So that's a big deal. So, okay. So like, very good. Okay. Just to move on to the real estate activity, there were 447 total permits issued for $74,000. That's down a little bit for last year. We only had 4 new homes built in 2024, and just some 46 additions and 20 detached structures. However, we did have 112 resale certificates issued versus 92 in 2023. So that's a 21.7% increase in the sales of existing houses. Okay. So here is the status of the dam. Everybody else knows the status of the dam. We had an engineering report done. It did show that we needed to do some repairs, and overall the dam's in pretty good condition. We did seal some cracks and eliminate leaks on the dam's upstream side. The diameters, what about the design grades? So you can see how much it leaks from the dam. So you don't learn much stuff. Anyway, the next thing to be done is testing of the low flow valve, and that will be done in April. And we voted, and that's the still very downstream side where repairs will be done later time, and there's issues with that. The light, we will work across the two. The riprap around the shoreline has been completed, and this year there's been $650,000 to remove silt out of the 3 retention ponds. So, okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is road improvements, which in the latest survey that we just had, there were a lot of comments about the roads need a lot of work. The roads need a lot of work. So, we were able to do some moving around because budgetary money in 2024 because we had a bunch of open positions that we did not spend some salary money. So we moved some of that money over into the cleaning of that. And so we spent $320,000 of road improvement in 2024. And we anticipate in 2025, we will be able to spend $500,000. And that's because of funds in O&M that are there, plus the new initiations that we'll talk about a little bit later, the funds from that. So $500,000 in roads next year, or this year, 2025. And this is just a picture that's Navajo by Sanchez, and then we put glass bead in the striping, and you can see what a difference it makes for nighttime driving around, especially if we don't have street lights. So the theory is that when the next time you need your road in front of your house, stop and have glass beads in it. So that's good. Okay. The next thing we have are the main projects for 2024. The first one, back in, give you a little background. Back in 2023, there were 4 families that had a vision to put the par 3 up on the 52 acres to get that moving. And so they came to the board and presented it in 2023. And the treasurer at the time said, I don't believe in the Easter Bay. I don't believe anybody's doing it. You may get some money, but you'll certainly not get enough to build par 3 or something. I'm going to tell you today, I'm glad I was wrong. So here's some statistics that I thought would be pretty interesting. It's 9 holes, it's 148 yards. And most of you haven't been out there and open yet, but I got to tell you, it is really, really pretty. And view back into the lakeside, it's really pretty. The construction budget that was approved by the board was $1,653,762. And at year end, this is it, right? With $1,082,661 of spent. So, and that has been funded totally by donations, 262 members and 14 corporate donors. And as of 12/31/24, the balance of maintenance was $245,000, and that's been funded by 150 members. And the total monthly contributions in 2024 was $45,000. Now, while it was totally built and constructed by donations, your POA did contribute the land that it sits on. So that's 18 acres of the 52 acres that's up there. So POA does have an investment, and it's thanks to you guys in the vision, the people that bought that 52 acres back for a song. To have that up there, so that's a good thing. The anticipated opening is summer of 2025. So next slide is pretty interesting. There is what it looks like. This was in January 25th. That's what it looks like. The only thing that is yet to be done up there is to strip the greens. And that will be done as soon as this cold weather goes away. But here's also the listing of the holes and what their rates are. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a moment, and I would like to have the 4 founding families stand up. Carla and Jeff Hepper. Here? Okay, they're not here. Leslie and Dean McElroy. And Jim Marcus. I don't know, ask, but certainly not leave, Jeannie and Gerald Smith. So thank you very much. You'll be remembered. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the driving range. So, in the process of raising money, the par three guys talked to our financial partner, First State Bank, and they said, well, gee, we want to support the par three, but we also wanted to support the improvement of the driving range if you guys want to do it. And so we looked at that, and the board looked at it and thought about it. And we talked to the engineer or the architect of the part three course and said, yeah, we can make this happen. And so we looked at that, and we tried to move as expeditiously and carefully as we possibly could. But what we found was that we were able to use their gift was $100,000. That's 70. Anyway, but because we were able to use the same architect and the same construction company, they didn't charge us any mobilization fees. And so between those two things, we saved $145,000 to build that course. So it's the driving range. So there's a whole bunch of statistics. It's 11 acres versus 6.8 acres for the old. The new hitting is 330 feet wide versus 75 at the current driving. So you shouldn't have to wait to hit when you get up there. So that's really good. The total construction cost is $375,000. Our POA investment in this is $285,000 and a net 4.2 acres of the 52 acres. And it's also scheduled to should open about the same time as the part three. So at this point, I would like to pause one more time and introduce Curtis Rhodes. Curtis, are you here? Please stand. Curtis is Senior Vice President of First State Bank, and he's also a college resident. So he's a good guy. So just where you'll see the difference, there's the driving range in the yellow, what you're hitting off of now, and in green is what you're going to be hitting off of. It is also being built in such a way that we can add hitting bays off to one side and hopefully put in a golf simulator thing called tracing. That would make it a lot of fun for those of you that think about golf. So, okay, other thing that we're working on, that we're probably should start this year. I know you've heard this before, but the front gate, the architect has finally made motion and got it going. And we think that after the 4th of July holiday, dirt will start turning. So that's we've been working on this for the last 7 years. And finally, they've got something going. The pickleball courts, which is the number 3 most wanted thing in the latest survey. The POA invested in that is $175,000, and there's a $100,000 gift from pickleball members. So that's should start April. Yeah, they did have to make a little change. It's not going to be 2 by 2, but it'll be 4 in a row. So there's the Veterans Memorial in October last year. We earlier we approved where to put that, reserve some land. It's the land across from the fire department because there's electrical and water available there for when they burn flags and stuff. And so, your POA invested, half an acre, the American Legion Post is funding that entire project out of their pocket. So we appreciate that. And finally, there's 1.2 mile walking trail around the 52 acres and a cut through path after the driving range gets over the road to see where I held it. So that called for an investment by your POA of about $125,000. And the things that we did in 2024, we demolished the long house for $15,000. That was done in February. It looks much better up there in park-like atmosphere. They loaned to KWC for the 10-year history book. Rita got us to spend $40,000 on the large patio code. Okay. And then we're also spending $6,000 on the big ass fans out there. We spent $13,000 on AV upgrades, that little black thing you see in the back, and then they're cleaning in the southwest room and in the blue. One of the things that we did, because we have so many things going on, and there's only one ridge that's current, we hired on a consulting basis Jim Fox. He has a lot of experience with the city of Plano, with different parks and things of that nature, golf courses. So he's doing a project management for us on a part-time basis. So he's been a huge help. The golf cart barn, we've revised the rental agreement and the initiation fee that we voted on in late 2023 and implemented as of April 4th, 2024. Through the end of the year, we got $184,000. And that's what's going to be. So, I talked to a couple of real estate agents that wrote about it, but at the same time, it hasn't really worked in. And as you saw, our resale certificates are up to the ones. So that's all during the time that this fee has been in place. So the other thing that we've been trying to do and saw with the golf course reserve fund, we've been working on transparency. How do we as a board communicate what we do and how we do it to the members and be effective in that? Part of that is if the minutes have to you guys quicker. Since we're last Monday or fourth Monday of the month, and the deadline is the 12th of the month, it's hard for the council of us to get it to communicate and get it out to you guys and cut this month and a half old out there. And that's old information. So we're looking at other ways of trying to get it to you quicker. The golf course reserve fund is a transparency move. It didn't fix the issue that is in the park. It just made it easier for you to see. So that's a good thing. So. Yeah. Okay. My final thoughts is President. After having 2 years as treasurer and this year as president, now I believe that the community is in good shape. We've got a couple of issues that the dam needs work and golf needs some work. But Ways and Means is a good place for that. To be worked on, and that's where the genesis of the conversation. And so they have to look over our investments for us and give us advice. They do a really good job. And it's something that we really all should understand. or, you can't get there and people to figure out what happened to pizza. And, we have, but it's all bonus just for, and no one has had to steal money from you. We wouldn't want to increase those if we didn't have to. But, it's just something that's a fact of life. You've got inflation in the 4 to 5% range, even if it's free, it depends on what it is, right? And so, I think you just look at random stuff. Finally, really like to find each one of the board members that served this year as president. They've been super wonderful, and I think they're really good folks. I enjoy it. There's also some of the community presidents that have really call and say, "Hey, what did you do about this? What was the answer to this question?" And I won't compare somebody saying to that, you can figure it out. They're really good folks. They have worked through this community. Great job. They continue to do a great job through the community system. Well, that is pretty much one final thing I would like to say. One thing. Said about it. I was going to read something on the next building. Which, to give the new board members a piece of advice. Believe me, just because it's the same people that have attend board meetings. I don't understand what's going on. So just take so if there is a motion for adjournment, I think, right? But is there a second for adjournment? Seconds. With my thanks, we are adjourned.